you think the Ravens are the biggest winners in the AFC North this offseason?
This is a team that consistently is going to be in position to contend because of how talented they are. The reality of it is those guys can play.
In the AFC should watch out for the Baltimore Ravens this season.
Players in the NFL, certainly one of the best players at quarterback. They got a guy at tailback in J.K. Dobbins, who I think could be an all-pro. They got one of the best tight ends in football, a plethora of perimeter weapons, some health on the offensive line, a very good defensive line, one of the better young linebackers in the NFL, and a top 5 secondary. And no one talks about it.
Yo, what it is? Welcome back to another episode of At the Bank, a Baltimore Ravens podcast. Yo, the time is here, ladies and gentlemen. The time has arrived. NFL season has finally kicked off, man. We already had our Thursday night game already popped off, man, and it was very interesting. You know what I mean? We already seen that the defending champs took that L in the first week, but we ain't here to even talk about them right now. You know what I mean? We already talked about the flock nation, Baltimore Ravens, you feel me? Because we got an upcoming game week 1 tomorrow. Make sure y'all check out that game tomorrow at 1 p.m. against Houston Texans. As the Houston Texans come to Baltimore, they come to the bank, you feel me? 1 p.m. If you're not be able to make it to the game, yo, make sure y'all check out y'all local listenings so y'all can go ahead and check us out, you feel me? Because like I said, yo, it's time. The questions that we all have been waiting for, and some of the answers is going to be popped up tomorrow, you know what I mean? But before we get there, man, if y'all are not already, please go follow my Instagram at @thebank_podcast, and I will give you the reason at the end of the show. Like I said, if you're not following the podcast, my Instagram, make sure you go follow it. It's sitting there on the top, over top of me. You feel me? Look for that IG, because I guarantee you it's going to be something special, and it's the reason why I'm telling y'all to go follow them. As I already alluded to, man, that week 1 of the NFL has kicked off, man, and we got the Houston Texans this week, man. And I feel like this is going to be a good game for the Ravens. I feel like this is the game that the Ravens should have in the bag, but we shouldn't overlook this because they are the Houston Texans. Because the Houston Texans are a good team. The Houston Texans are I'm not going to say a good team. They are a good rebuilding team. You know what I mean? They starting over pretty much. You know, they got a new head coach in DeMeco Ryans. They got a new franchise quarterback in C.J. Stroud. And they also got a franchise player on the defensive side also, too. So it's not saying that this is a pushover game. Now, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people, it's like, oh, yeah, this is a gimme game. But you got to also remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we got a new offensive coordinator. We got a new offensive scheme. You know what I mean? So we gotta most definitely be humble and be patient and see what type of offense this is going to give us. You feel me? So as I'm sitting here get ready to dive into the show, man, I'm gonna give y'all 3 keys on the offensive side. I'm gonna give y'all 3 keys on the defensive side, and I'm gonna give y'all the final score, my prediction of the final score. You know what I mean? Of the Houston and Baltimore game. So let's start with the offensive side, because, you know, the offensive side has a lot of questions, you know what I mean, that we need answers to. And this offensive side is most definitely, number one is, how will Lamar look? You know what I mean? That's the first and foremost. We didn't get a chance to see Lamar in the preseason at all. You know what I mean? It was pretty much the battles of the quarterback number 2, George Johnson and Tyler Huntley. And, you know, the offense looked okay under Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley was able to push the ball, move the ball real quick, get efficient, get the ball in his hands real fast, and he was able to rely on the run game also. But when George Johnson in the game, George Johnson kind of was holding the ball a little bit too long. At times that he was late on his reads and stuff like that, but he was still efficient and the offense was still able to move. Now, the only thing that we didn't really see was a really high-powered offense. You know what I mean? The scores wasn't like piling up. It wasn't 30-plus games or anything in that nature. It was very level games. It was very, 24-ish type scores. You know what I mean? So that's just the fact that that's the backups. That's your number 2s. possibly your number threes that was actually, playing in that game. So if that offense kind of looked that decent with the twos and the threes, how would it look under Lamar? I'm expecting that this offense will look decent and look good underneath Lamar. I think Lamar is going to be able to be efficient. We'll be able to go through his progressions. We'll be able to hit his new targets because we got a lot of new targets on that wide receiver room, as everybody and I keep on alluding to. You feel me? So that wide receiver room is most definitely going to step up. And I feel like Lamar, this is the time that Lamar going to have to answer a lot of questions. Such as questions of, can he be a 3,000-yard passer? Can he rely on his arm more than his legs? Can he lead us deep into the playoffs? Can he get us to the Super Bowl that he promised us 5 years ago? 4 or 5 years ago. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of questions that we will like to be answered from Lamar. And I think Lamar will have a ball out year. But, not to keep going too further down the line. Let's keep it close. I think Lamar will have a great game tomorrow. I think Lamar will be able to showcase a lot of his arm tomorrow. Like I said, now, it's not to beat up on DeMeco Ryans and his Houston Texans defense, but it is a defense that's doesn't really have that many big names. Doesn't have a really that culture has been built yet. That's just through my eyes. I don't know how it is. I didn't pay attention to the Houston Texans throughout the summer, but for what I've seen, but it is DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans had led that 49ers defense deep into the playoffs. So we're not going to sit here and not pay attention and not give credit to DeMeco Ryans for what he did in the past. But also, like I said, it's the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans really don't offer that much. But I feel like DeMeco Ryans can get that defense at least to be solid. So I expect a young defense to make a lot of mistakes and trying to figure out what type of defense this is going to be. But I also see a lot of struggling times on that defensive side. And I think Lamar will take advantage of those disadvantages. So, as long as Lamar can most definitely not be pressured a lot, the offensive line, which I'm about to get to soon, can hold their blocks, I think everything will be fine for Lamar. Number 2, how balanced this offense will be. That's a question that we all would like to see coming from Greg Roman and what he did last year. We already know we was a run first heavy team, and it was pretty much almost 70-30. 70 running, 30 passing. And a lot of people wasn't really want to come here, or a lot of people didn't really believe that Greg Roman can get us deep into the, to where we was trying to go at. And Greg Roman really did. Now, I'm not trying to knock that Greg Roman didn't do a decent job and didn't do an okay job while he was here. But I felt like, as I alluded to before, that he was holding Lamar back some. So now that with Todd Monken coming in, it's like, how balanced this offense is going to be. Is it going to be a pass happy type offense? Is it going to be a 60-40 type offense? 60 passing, 40 running? Is it going to be a 65-35? All I'd like to know is what type of balanced offense we're going to get. I will hope that it's, in the perfect world, 50-50. We would like to see that type of balance. But at the same time, we already know that type of balance is really not going to happen. And I think that, the way that this league is turning into is a pass-happy league. So I feel like it's pretty much going to be like a 60-40 type balance, 60 passing, 40 rushing. But I just got to hope and make sure that the Ravens don't forget who we are. We are a run-first team. And if the team keeps long as we able to showcase that we are able to run the ball still, a lot of teams is going to have difficulties trying to figure out how to play us. So if they just keep having those difficulties and how to play us, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long good season for us and a long bad season for the teams that we play against, especially the Houston Texans coming up. Because I feel like you get a balanced offense against a uprising, new culture, the Houston Texans. You will put a lot of leagues on notice. You will put a lot of teams, on notice. And it just, not the fact that just because it's the Houston Texans that we got to go ahead and run it up. No, I don't think that you try to run that score up. I don't think that you sit here and try to belittle the Houston Texans. You out there and do the job. Make sure the job gets done right. You feel me? But at the same time, man, don't go out here and try to do all these gadget plays, these trick plays, the plays you didn't do throughout the whole offseason that you did not practice. Stick to the script. that's this about it, man. Stick to the script, man. All right, the third key I would like to see, and I kind of alluded to, is can the O-line protect Lamar? And that's going to have to be a great question, because Ronnie Stanley is now cleared from the injury list. He will be playing tomorrow. Big ups. I'm so glad, because I felt like he's one of the best linemen, or the best left tackle, one of the best left tackles in the game. And as long as he can protect Lamar blindside, because if I'm not mistaken, he only gave up maybe about 1 or 2 sacks last year. That's dope. Now, if he can just continue that streak and not give up that many sacks, don't give up no sacks at all, I think Ronnie Stanley will have a ball-out banging year. You know what I mean? And we also got a new left guard. We're trying to see how this left guard is really going to stand up there, you know what I mean, since now that we no longer have the same left guard from last year. I think now, that's a question that a lot of people, or us flockers, there's really going to have to start paying attention to detail to. To that left guard. If that left guard can hold up also, you know what I mean, and play off of Ronnie Stanley, oof, that left side, that blind side is well protected, which means Lamar can get through his progressions, which means Lamar can get through his reads, which means Lamar don't have to hurry up and get happy feet and do backyard football. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing that we would like to not see this year is Lamar doing so much backyard football. We would like to see Lamar sit to the script. We would like to see Lamar play to his advantage. But also, Houston Texans, don't forget, Lamar is Lamar. You overplay him, you get him out that pocket, and he gets the moving and gets the dancing. We already know it's going to be a long day for y'all. So, you know what I mean? So this offensive line, most definitely, I'm looking to see how they protect Lamar. You know what I mean? If they can keep Lamar on the upright, don't get dirty as much, then it's going to be a great game. Like a great game, man. So I'm can't wait to see how this offense flourishes tomorrow, man. I really most definitely can't wait to see OBJ, Zay Flowers, and the rest of the people out there, especially the wide receiver room. I can't wait to see how teams going to try to play us. Do you play us run first? Do you play us pass first? You know what I mean? It's like, how do you play the Ravens now? You gotta say it's going to be a long day for the defensive coordinator and DeMeco Ryans for Houston Texans, in my eyes. You feel me? So I just can't wait to see, how it's all going to entail. So remember these 3 keys for tomorrow's game. How will Lamar look in this new offense? How balanced this offense will be, and can the offensive line protect Lamar? Because, like I said, those 3 keys right there can most definitely help us win against the Houston Texans. Most definitely help us win. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to see how the offense comes out, man. The offense is going to be dope. I feel like, man, I can't wait to give y'all my prediction score. I feel like this is going to be a good game. You feel me? So let's flip it over to the defensive side now. This defensive side, man, we got some questions. I know I got some questions, man, because we depleted a little bit, just a little bit, you know what I mean? And one of the depletions is, and one of the keys is, how will the cornerbacks hold tomorrow? Can these cornerbacks be able to uphold without Marlon Humphrey? Because Marlon Humphrey will not be playing tomorrow. He is on the IR. He will not be physically be able to play until about week 5, week 6. You know what I mean? So now we asking the Brock Yakshin, we asking Pepe Jones, we asking Arthur Mallet, Ronald Darby. We asking all these guys that how is they going to hold up without Marlon Humphreys? You know what I mean? Because I already know that Marlon Humphreys is the most definitely, I'm not going to say a shutdown corner, but is a top corner in this league. You got to remember, Marlon Humphrey's only allowed 0 touchdowns last year. You know what I mean? And I believe once he come back, that's how many touchdowns he's going to most definitely allow this year. So, but you know what I mean, with these new corners, these guys, some of them new, some of them old, some of the guys been around the league for a nice period of time. Some of these other guys coming back off of injury. We would like to see how they will fit in this new scheme behind Mike Madonna and this new defensive scheme, man. Well, not new. It's kind of old, you know what I mean? Because we seen it last year. And those corners going to have a lot of tasks. Now, I'm not saying that the Houston Texans has most definitely got the bang-out wide receivers. But we would like to at least have some good momentum going into week 2. You know what I mean? I understand that we shouldn't be worrying about what's ahead of us, the next game and stuff like that. Don't get too far ahead of us. But the Houston Texans really don't have no, like I said, don't have no standout wide receivers. Now, they do have wide receivers, you know. That's how they build their team. But also, at the same time, man, nobody can name a Houston Texans wide receiver right now without Googling or looking up the Houston Texans team. You know what I mean? I hate to put it like that. But like I said, the Houston Texans is rebuilding. So this will be a good game for our team, our defense, our corners to actually figure out and get some momentum to take to week 2. So we most definitely got to see how these corners is going to hold up. Our second key is, can the defense get to the quarterback? You know what I mean? Now we got Jadeveon Clowney, we got David Ojabo, we got Adofe Owe. All these guys those 3 guys is there to most definitely get quarterback pressure. And now we asking the questions about especially Owe. I keep calling his name out throughout ever since I started this podcast, is when is this guy going to show up? When is this guy going to become getting sacks? When? You know what I mean? Not last year, but the year before, he showed that next step. He showed that maybe he can be that guy. He showed us, you know what I mean, that he was even player of the week one year. But then after that, man, he just kind of took a step back, kind of got lost. He didn't put that many quarterback pressures or getting that many sacks last year. And it's raising questions. I think that this is the year that he will be fighting for his job, fighting for his season. We already got Jadeveon Clowney there now. It's like all 3 of them is not going to be on the field at the same time all the time. Somebody going to have to take a back seat or something. And I think that the best man should win. And I think the best man will win. Now, I'm not saying that Jadeveon Clowney is Myles Garrett. He's J.J. Watt. He's T.J. Watt. He's, you know, any of those sack leading guys that's out there getting to the sack right now. He's not that guy. But Jadeveon Clowney really could never be the lead guy in any of those places other than maybe Seattle. But other than he was never the lead guy. Now he's taking on that veteran leadership, and potentially this can be him. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is the time to watch. This is the time to see Jadeveon Clowney and grow up. I really hope that he do grow up. I really hope that he do mature and he really put some quarterback pressures, because I'm pretty sure that he's going to get a lot of attention. They're going to try to chip him. They're going to try to make sure they put an extra block over there and everything. You know what I mean? But at the same time, David Ojabo and Adofe Owe have to feed up off of that. They have to get to the quarterback. They have to make sure that their job is still alive. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's most definitely the top. They should have been the top priority, but you know, without cornerback depletion, you know what I mean, edge rushing, it had to come second in my eyes. But those two is the top 2 keys that we most definitely got to look for into Marvel's game. And now the third key, is, can the defense get off the field at times? At times. The defense gets down to like 3rd and 7, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And if the momentum would be riding the Ravens defense, but it'd be sometimes it'd be like the Ravens just be like, all right, we're gonna let them get this 3rd down, y'all. Let them get this 1st down. And it's like, yo, dog, you could have gave the offense extra possession. You could have been off the field. You shouldn't be sitting here gasping for air. You know what I mean? Get the job done. Get off the field. Get that 3 and out. You know what I mean? Stop waiting until you get about to the 3rd 3 and outs, and then now you all of a sudden you want to get it off the field. No, because that 3rd 3 and out always comes down to maybe a field goal, or then you might be so tired you give up you break down and give up a touchdown. So the Ravens most definitely have to get off the field, man. Their defense, get off the field. It's like it's nothing more to really elaborate on that. When you get to Houston, I know it's going to happen. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7. You have to get them off the field. The more opportunities you give them, the more confidence you give them, and you don't want to give a young quarterback like C.J. Stroud any type of confidence. You don't want to give this young group any type of confidence, period. Get them off the damn field. It's just, you know what I mean? Because that in the past, the Ravens defense do be on the field way too long. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't want to have a statistic of both offensive teams has been on the field the same amount of time, but then at the same time, the Houston Texans is on the board and the Ravens is not. That's how you can lose the game, because you couldn't get them off the field. So no confident boosters for these guys. I feel like this is where I understand this is a long season. You know what I mean? You don't want to put so much into. You're gonna have to get them off the field. It's just plain and simple, man. I feel like if the Ravens can get more 3 and outs than anything, the defense won't have to sit back and just look and hope and pray that the corners can get the job done. You don't want to leave the pressure and all the stuff on to the corners. So that's the 3 keys right there that I would like to see the defense to do, man. Is number 1 is how these cornerbacks are going to hold up. You're going to have to do your job. Don't get beat deep. Number 2, can the defense get to the quarterback? You're going to have to put some type of pressure on the quarterback. You're going to have to do something. You got to make C.J. Stroud feel uncomfortable. And then number 3, get off the field defense. Don't let these guys get a lot of 3 and outs and get confidence. Please. You know what I mean? That's going to be the worst thing that you can do for a young team. You feel me? So, as we sitting here coming down to the end of the show, you feel me? Hold on, we got a comment. We got some comments. OG Matt, what it is. Once you finish your point, I have a question. Is it true that OBJ is on the injury list? OBJ is not on the injury list anymore. I felt like it was a little bit of miscommunication when it came down to OBJ and his injury. He did tweak his ankle. You know what I mean? There's no question about that. He did tweak his ankle, but it was not that serious for him to miss practice or miss time or anything in that nature. He is no longer on the injury list. The injury list is only Marlon Humphreys. It's the only Raven right now on the injury list. You feel me? Mark Andrews is questionable with his quad injury, but I feel like he's going to play tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it looks like the whole camp is going to be out there, OG. So be ready for OBJ to be out there and look good. You feel me? The time is here. It's time to give y'all my prediction of what this game will look like in my eyes and how I feel like it will go down. I feel like the Ravens will get the win. I feel like Houston Texans is just too young their culture hasn't been built yet or anything in that nature. So I feel like the Houston Texans will take this loss, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's going to be somewhat of a spanking of a loss too. So my prediction of tomorrow's game will be the Ravens win 35-13. Now, the reason I gave the Houston Texans 13, I gave the Houston Texans 13 for the simple fact because of like I said, I feel like somewhat the defense is going to have a struggling time getting off the field. And, you know what I mean, with no tape on CJ Stroud, no tape on how this offense potentially could look, you know what I mean, it's the Houston Texans can most definitely throw up some points. Now, you know what I mean, those points might come late. Majority of those points might come late. You know what I mean? I think that those points will come late. But, you know what I mean? The Houston Texans, I feel like it won't be no donut. It won't be no shutout. I feel like the Houston Texans will be able to put up some points. But I also feel like the Ravens will put up a lot of points. I feel like this offense will be potent, and we will see it come out early. I feel like that the Ravens will take a lot of deep shots. I think the Ravens will try to put the Houston Texans away early. I'm talking about get them out the nest, get them out, get them off the field, get them out the bank. You know what I mean? Make sure they deposit their check into the bank. I feel like that's going to happen tomorrow, and I feel like Lamar will come out with at least 3 passing touchdowns, and he will throw for over 200 some odd yards. And I feel like J.K. Dobbins will be a lot of an impact. I think that running game will be an impact on how this game will be. Most definitely getting down to the second half. I feel like the second half is we most definitely going to see a lot of that rush attack. So first half, we're going to see more passing than anything. I think second half, once the game kind of get out of reach, and it's just trying to get Houston up out of there, I think that we will see a lot of the rushing attack. And it will come from, from everybody. I think it's going to come from JK, Gus, and then we're going to get a little bit of sprinkle of Lamar. So once again, here's the score, what I'm predicting, 35-13, Baltimore. You feel me? So this is, like I said, it's going to be a dope game tomorrow, man. So make sure y'all tune into that. All right, let's see. OG Max said, cool beans, always keep pushing, my brother. Always, OG. You already know how I get down, man. You know there's no quitting me. So remember in the beginning of the show, I told y'all that y'all should be going out here. If you wasn't following my Instagram, you should be following my Instagram because it's always a madness to my method. You feel me? So the reason I'm telling y'all to go ahead and follow my Instagram, because for a simple fact, tomorrow morning, I will be down at the M&T Bank Stadium, man, and I will be interacting with the tailgaters. So if you're not following my Instagram, yo, please do so. And here goes the info right here, yo. This is the whole reason I've been telling y'all to follow my Instagram. If you're not following my Instagram, please go ahead and follow @thebank_podcast. You feel me? For the tailgate exclusive. And it's only going to be on Instagram. You feel me? So if you would like to chime in on my Instagram live, if you would like to interact with the tailgaters while I'm down there with the tailgaters, as I interact with them, asking them questions, from everything of who's their favorite Raven, what's their prediction of the game and stuff like that. Make sure y'all go follow my Instagram. I'm trying to tell y'all, see, I told y'all, yo, I got y'all. Got this nice little setup and got it for y'all. You know what I mean? Let's keep the fan engaged. Hopefully get more new followers, new fans, all that. So, like I said, if you're not following my Instagram, man, hey, go to information one more time. Make sure y'all please go out there and follow my Instagram and then chime in on the Instagram tailgate exclusive. You feel me? I'm going to try to get down there roughly around about 10:30. You know what I mean? Because, the tailgaters, the flockers be out there early. I mean, hopefully they got some good food there. Feed me too. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like I said, follow my Instagram. Make sure y'all go out there and do that. Subscribe to the subscribe, share this episode, share, and subscribe the Grid Network, because like I said, dare to be different. If you're looking for that new voices, if you're looking for that new network that you are taught of the same old stuff, the same old suit and tie type guys, come to the Grid Network. And to the Grid, you feel me? We got great shows such as Carving It Up with Bryson, or even podcast, Commanders on Demand, The Form, a Lakers podcast. And if you into MMA, we got Outside the Cage, and soon we will have a Las Vegas Raiders show. Woo! If you haven't been paying attention, the Grid is moving. We are getting not only better but bigger. You feel me? So and make sure y'all go out and check out all those shows, and make sure y'all go out and check out my other show, MTMO, My Thoughts, My Opinion Sports Podcast, as I'm gave out my 113th thought as I broke down the NFC conference, as I talked about Jonathan Taylor, and I sat there and talked about Noah Lyles, as he said, open his mouth talking about world champions. So make sure y'all go out there and check out my 113th thought. Make sure y'all go out there and check all the other shows that I just gave y'all. I guarantee you it's going to be different, because we dare to be different. Make sure y'all go out there and check the 8 o'clock spot every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. It's the spot that you want to be, as we sit here and have a great time talking about sports, And I was last week champ, you feel me? So make sure y'all go out and check that out, as this week is hopefully I'll be defending my crown, you feel me? So as always, it's my pleasure to talk that Raven smack with y'all, you feel me? And as always, big trust, because why would you trust anything else? I'm out.